Hi guys, in this video I'll show you how I normally send off a PCB for manufacturing at PCBWay. There are some steps that are crucial to go through before you ship it off, so you don't get a PCB that are that have some errors that are easily to detect before you ship it off. So let's dig into this design and see how this is done. And I just started up here the 3D viewer, and I just noticed a few things. There's something here with the designator that are out of placement, and then there's some misalignment of some text here, and then I can see that it would be nice to have some rounded corners as well. So let's try to fix that before we generate the production data. So we can just find the text here and just select it, press M for move. I think this is a nice place. And then down here we have the texts that are a bit misaligned. I can just select the text here and then use the arrow keys to move it. Press M for move, and then you can do it like this. You can also do it in another way where you select all the text, just hold down the control key and then mark all the text that you want to align, like this, and then right click, and then you say align and align to the left, and then you have all the text aligned here. Very nice. So now we have the silk screen is perfect. Then we can just try and turn off the two other layers here, the top and bottom layer. And then we can select here the edge cuts layer. And then right click and then say shape modification. And we would like to use this fillet lines. And then we have here radius of 4 millimeters. Press OK. And then you see we have the rounded corner. And it's done in all 4 corners here. And we can just turn off the top and bottom layer, and you see we have some copper out here, and then we just press B, and then we do a repour. Then we can see that everything is perfect here. So now I'm happy with the layout and how it looks. Then it's important to make a design rule check, and you go up here into inspect design rule checker, and then you just say run design rule check. And we see that we have 2 warnings and 1 error. So let's start here with the warnings. You can see there are some unconnected nets. If we double click here, and we should be possible to see it here. It's highlighted here already, so you see there's a small piece of a track here. We can just say like this, and then just press delete like that, and then we can run and see if that removed the error. Run design rule checker, run it once more. And now we see we have 1 warning and 1 error left. So we have this another small piece of track, I think. So it's here, and we see there's a small piece here, and then we can just press delete and select the right piece. Maybe it's already gone. Let's try and run the design rule check again. So it's gone, it was already deleted. And then we have 1 more error here, or we have 1 error. There's something wrong with the thermal relief. Spokes connected to isolated island. Let's have a look on that. So this is up here. See here, there's an error here. Yeah, I see the problem. So we can turn off the top layer here. So the problem here is that we have this piece of fill that are connected to a via here. So this is not allowed. So we can fix that quite easy by just putting a via here. So let's try and route this. Default drag. If we do something like that, and we can copy this one, Control D for duplicate, and then we can just place a via here, and press B, and then we will do a repour. And now we see that this island here has been connected to ground and has a connection into this pin here. So let's try and make a design rule check again. Like that. 0 errors and 0 warnings, everything is fine. Now we are sure that we have a design that are without any major mistakes. Then we can save file, save. Let's save it. And then I would like to add a few details just for my design. I would like to move this then. I'll just move to a 1mm grid again. Press M for move and just move everything down here somewhere. And we can see now here in the bottom that our origin is up here somewhere, and would like to move it. Place grid origin, and then just let's put it here. And then we should go to a 0.1mm grid there. And we can also reset our other measurement data here. Just press space, then we have down here dx and dy is also connected to this point here. Save, and then let's go to the fabrication layer over here on the right side. Sorry, this is the, I would like to use the user drawing layer, like that. And we can place some details regarding the PCB. So we can add some board characteristics. And we want to do that on the user drawings. And we would like to place some stack up details. And also that. So we have some details regarding the PCB here. And we could also put a square around the whole PCB. But yeah, I think that's fine now. Let's save it. And now we are ready to generate the Gerber data for our design, I think. So we can say save here. And then we go out to our design. So up here we have in the menu we have file, and then we have fabrication outputs. File. We would like to go into the PCB here, and then say file, fabrication outputs, and then Gerbers. And we see here I have inserted an extra path here called Gerber. So instead of filling our initial design directory with all kinds of files, then we can just put in here another name for a library or a directory where we'll put all the Gerber data in, because there will be generated a file for each layer that we produce. So let's say plot, and we generated all the Gerber data, and we also need to generate the drill files, so we say generate drill files. And there will be generated two files, one for plotted or holes with copper, and holes without any copper inside, non-plated holes. So we can close this. It also went well. There were no errors and no warnings. And we can just try and have a look here in our library or directory here with our design. We have our design files here, and then we have the Gerber directory here. And here we have all the Gerber data for all the layers. This is just a 2-layer board. So what we need to do now is to zip all the files. I just take all of them. You know, this job file is not necessary, but it's just easier just to zip everything. It doesn't matter. So we put it in a zip file, and we just need to give it a name here. So let's call it ESP32 Raspberry Pi 2040 version 1, and we can also call it Gerber, like that. Now we have our production data, and actually in here in KiCad there's also a Gerber viewer, so we can have a look on the source file for our Gerber files. So let's try and start that one, and we can say file, and we can open zip archive file, and we have it here in Gerber, and it just loads all the layers. And it says that it skipped this job file here. So we can see all the layers here, and we can turn them off and have a look on each of them and see if we are happy with everything. So we can start here with the outer layer. Fine. Some drill files, some non-plated holes, and all the plated holes are here. Some paste, and this is the silk screen. You see that they're nicely aligned over here, and the U2 thing was moved. Yes, perfect. And here we have some of the mask and some cover layer. Bottom layer or top layer, another mask, and the bottom silk screen, and a paste mask. Oh, sorry, this is button paste. There's nothing. So that's also a very helpful tool sometimes to have a look, but this is also integrated into KiCad, this Gerber viewer. And now we're in here in the PCB layout. We could also generate a few more files. So we could also generate a XY coordinate file, a component placement file. So this is this. And it will just be placed, we will just place them in our working directory, generate position file, and we see here that 32 parts were found and a file was generated, and close. And we can just have a look here in our working directory we have these two files here. One is empty, of course, because we don't have any parts in the bottom layer, but we can have a look here. This is all the parts we have here, the values and the packages and the X and Y positions and which side it is and if the part is rotated. So let's head into KiCad again and press save. So we are happy here, and we can also just have a look here on the schematic part of things. There's also some files we can generate. We would like to have a bill of material, for example. So we go here to tools and edit symbol fields. And here we have some of the data that we have inserted into the design. And I would like to also include a bill of material where we have some part numbers for Mauser, for example. And we see here there's one here called Mauser. We can also add them, and we can, for example, say, okay, if we want one for DigiKey, for example, as well. Just insert DigiKey here. And then we have DigiKey over here, and if we want Mauser, we just turn that on. And then we see over here on the right side we have two columns here, Mauser and DigiKey, and we see there's already a part number here for the LM1117 3.3 volt LDO. And let's try and, for example, find this LED and find a Mauser part number for that one, and then we just head into Mauser, for example, and see what we can find. And this is actually this LED here, and we see there's plenty of stock. And then we just take the part number and copy it, and then we go in here and in the Mauser line here. Then we simply just paste that number in. And we can do that for the remaining parts, and we say apply and save it and OK. But so first we have to export it to generate the file, and it wrote the bill of material file here in a CSV file. OK and OK. And then we can see here in our working directory that we have a CSV file here, and we can just open it with Noteblock, for example. And here we have the bill of materials, and we see here this is the part number that we did insert, and we can open it with LibreOffice, for example, as well. Then we can see it a bit more aligned. And then we see all the data down here. And then with the Mauser part number. So this is perfect. I think we generated all the data that we need for production, and now we can upload the Gerber data to PCBWay, and let's see how this is done. And I think I have an open window here from PCBWay, and then we just go to Quote Now and upload Gerber data. And then here we can add the Gerber data file, and we put them in here in the zip file. Oh, and then it just extracts all the data from the data we have put in the Gerber file, and it says that it's 100 times 100 millimeters, and it's a 2-layer board. And for example, if we want to have 5 pieces of those manufactured in 24 hours, that will cost us only $5. So this is a quite nice offer. And of course we are able to select different data from our PCB. If you want a thinner board, or you want it in another color, for example, and with or without any silk screen, you can select it from here. And of course one of the more important things is the surface treatment or finish. So this is just a one with LED, and if we want a LED free, just select this one. This is the same price, and the more expensive one is here with gold AMTECH, and this is a bit more pricey. So let's just select this LED free treatment here. And then we are ready to go and save to cart, and we can get the PCBs delivered from PCBWay within 24 hours. So I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Bye.